Welcome to Trade Talk, the podcast where construction pros connect, share, and grow. Brought to you by Contractors Connect, this show dives into real-world issues facing today's builders on and off the job site.
Whether you're swinging a hammer, running a crew, or scaling a business, we've got the insights, stories, and expert tips to help you level up in the building industry.
I'm Sarah White.
And I'm Erin Bacher. And together, we'll be talking shop with industry leaders, tradespeople, and innovators who are shaping the future of construction.
Let's get to work. This is Trade Talk. Welcome back to Trade Talk, the podcast where construction pros connect, share, and grow. I'm your host, Sarah White.
And I'm Lindsay Lord, and today we're tackling one of those topics that every builder knows they need, but often fails to tackle: systems and organization.
Absolutely. I think not just builders, but all businesses.
Yeah.
So today our guest is Ariel Mastbrook. She is the owner of Limitless Lioness, and she has a company that works with contractors and remodelers on getting their businesses organized, tackling items that cause chaos, and streamlining processes.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the hidden cost of disorganization in your business. And I think Ariel's going to have some great tips and tricks for us.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's jump in. If you're in the construction industry and your marketing feels more like a punch list than a plan, it might be time to call in the pros. At Bespoke Consulting, we help contractors and construction businesses get noticed with branding that builds trust, websites that convert, and marketing strategies that actually move the needle. Want to grow your business without wasting time or money? Start with Bespoke. Learn more at bespokeconsulting.com. Welcome, Ariel. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody can't see, but Ariel just had a baby 3 weeks ago, and she's being a trooper by coming to be on the show. And so if she's bending down, it's because she's bending down to help her little 3-week-old baby.
Yes. Yeah, she is very good, but awake. So
yes, she's very quiet right now. We'll go quick.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your background. What led you to working with builders and renovators?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of a long, funny story, but I started in the industry when I was 20 as a college intern. I was studying marketing. Mm-hmm. So one of my friends whose family owned a design build remodeling firm reached out. They wanted some cheap labor.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of fell into the industry ever since. And then, I went on to work at another design build firm after that. I was there for maybe like 6 or 7 years, mm-hmm. and just saw a lot of the industry. I started in marketing, became the office manager, eventually reached my way into production as a project developer, project coordinator type of role.
Okay.
So a lot of the office side, but eventually was in the world of production. So, that's where I started, and then eventually started, ironically, I'm on maternity leave now. My first maternity leave, I was working at a design build firm. I had 4 weeks off, came back to a bottleneck of work, and then I'm just going to pick her up. I'm just going to do it.
Her on-screen debut. So tell us who this is.
This is Ada.
Okay.
She is a very sweet little girl.
She is sweet.
She's my second. So I was on maternity leave with my first at the design build firm, and came back to a bottleneck of work. None of my work had gotten done while I was gone. So it just was a pretty stressful time. Eventually left. Didn't think I was going to come back to the industry ever. But once I had some time to recover mentally from everything, postpartum as well, decided to start a VA firm. And then eventually decided to niche
virtual
to construction.
assistant.
Yeah. Yes, virtual assistant firm. And then decided to niche to construction because that's what I know.
Very
awesome.
Cool.
So,
what inspired the name Limitless Lioness?
Great question. People always like to ask that because it is a little random, it seems, with construction. I didn't start in construction, so my name, Ariel, means Lion of God. I wanted to incorporate my faith in a way, so that's where the lioness came from. And then the Limitless was just really the vibe I wanted to give off when I was helping clients. Like,
nice.
We'll do everything we can to make sure you're supported.
Love that.
Okay. So tell me, when you started working with contractors and helping them streamline operations, what surprised you most about running their business?
Not a lot, because I had seen a lot of it when I was working corporately. Sorry.
It's okay.
Not a lot surprised me because I had seen all of the opportunities when I was working in the industry full-time corporately. I really saw between those two design builds I worked for that the world of construction is crazy, right? So there's a lot of go, 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 not a lot of time to stop and think and develop these systems. So it was a gap that was definitely noticed between me and some of my other colleagues. So yeah, I wasn't really that surprised. Obviously, I worked a lot with design build. Since then, I've worked with a lot of like custom builders, some like trim work guys, just like different types of construction businesses rather than just the design build remodeling. So we've learned a lot through that. But yeah, I find that a lot of builders, remodelers, they don't think they need systems. Like what they've always done has always worked in their minds, even though they're stressed all the time and it's a little chaotic. So our goal is just to bring some peace to them with the back end in the office because they're out in the field all day. And if they are catching up on admin work, it's usually at night when they should be with their families.
Right.
So, yeah, just filling in that gap has been
What kind of tools and processes do you recommend to people that first come to you?
Yeah, the biggest opportunities are your leads. A lot of because we've worked with over a dozen companies across 19 states and counting. So the one thing that I see is they want to throw money at marketing, but they have no systems to track anything.
Right.
So a lot of those
see that a lot.
Yeah, a lot of those leads get lost or
Right.
they don't follow up in time. They found somebody else. So just a system for lead intake and then lead follow up, and obviously like booking that first on-site visit so you can actually like bid on the project.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, we see that a lot as a marketing agency that clients come to us thinking they want to do marketing, but they're not even using the information that they already have.
Yeah, exactly. Just like having it could be something as simple as a spreadsheet to track things, CRM, like a client relationship management tool. And then the other opportunity for systems that we see a lot is once you're building the project, having a project management tool of some sort where there might be a client portal or even something as simple as like a Google Drive you can share with all of your selections in it, like things like that, just so everyone kind of knows where to go to find things. It's not on a random text message somewhere on one person's phone.
Yes, absolutely.
Those types of things we help streamline.
Are there certain CRMs or tools that you think are recommended for builders?
It really depends on where you're at. We've set up one thing that we've recently been doing is setting up a system in Google because, a lot of these builders, they already have a Google workspace. They don't necessarily need another tool. It's just like having that foundation. So we'll set up like a client file template that they can just copy and paste every time they have a new client so that there's a specific place to save like their signed contracts and their selections. They can share it with the client, like the link if they want, all the sub-agreements, things like that. And then once you start scaling, that's really good for like the solopreneur, the sole proprietor or whatever, small team. Once you start growing, then you have a bigger team, you're running more projects, there's awesome tools like people have heard of like Builder Trend. I recommend those for like very large companies, more like the enterprises just because of the price point. But there's Job Tread and House Pro and all these, there's a million and one of them in the industry, contractor foreman, things like that. Just some kind of project management tool so that they the clients can have a really good experience. And then also on the internal side, like everyone knows where to find things. It's not so chaotic.
Right.
Yeah. Kickstart your morning with coffee, mimosas, and meaningful connections at our November Contract Her networking meetup, Caffeinate and Collaborate. This casual, energizing event is all about bringing together women in the construction and building industries to share ideas, spark conversations, and build community. Join us on Thursday, November 13th from 10 a.m. to noon at Floor & Decor in Pensacola. Tickets are on sale now and sponsorships are still available. We hope to see you there. One thing I see kind of in the construction world is builders and contractors are worried about putting some of these systems into place because they worry it's going to slow them down or it's going to be such a learning curve. So how do you kind of combat that? How do you explain to them that it's worth it?
Keeping it simple. It doesn't have to be a complex system. It just needs to be a system that's going to get done.
Yeah.
So creating a system, a lot of these contractors are going to something like a remodeler's advantage, some kind of peer group where they can learn, they get all these ideas, but like ultimately it might not work. What your colleagues are doing might not work for your business. So just coming up with a system that works for you and your business that's going to actually get done. As for the setting it up, like a lot of these builders, they don't set it up because they don't have the time. And that's the truth. They don't have the time. So either, assigning someone on your team to really take charge of that if you have a team, and if not, outsourcing it to some other, someone like us or whatever, some kind of systems company that can set it up for you and really develop that in collaboration with you.
Right.
So they're coming up with something that works with you. Not that you're like, oh, this is great, never going to do it.
Right.
Type of thing. But and then holding people accountable to actually doing it. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and I think what you said is really key is it has to be something simple, something easy to do, because if it takes a lot of time, then nobody wants to do that. And so there's no point in having a system.
Yeah, and as you're building up the system, just really hyping it up to your team of like, there is going to be a learning curve, but it's going to make things so much easier in the back end. The benefits being just like being able to find things. You're not wasting time searching your emails. The inbox search function isn't working. Like, that email's in there, but it's not popping up. Like, that happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Asking trades to resend you quotes, asking your, designers to resend their invoices. I literally was talking to a designer out in 30A, and she was like, I've sent this builder this invoice 4 times. And it just needs to get paid.
Yeah.
So just like being able to like find those things quickly and not have to like deal with the inconvenience of not being able to find things.
Right.
How do you help business owners understand the cost of fixing disorganization is worth it?
That's a great question. So yeah, sometimes people see the investment of like some of these builder tools or the initial setup or things like that. But when you set these things up and you streamline things, like you're saving so much time searching for those things where you could actually be like bidding projects, working on estimates. We had one client that we set up something super simple for him in Dubsado, where he could send out, contracts. He had a template in there, so he wasn't recreating the wheel every time. He could invoice out of there, track his leads, things like that. And then we also helped afterwards with the actual operations of doing the lead intake, vetting them, booking the appointments. And he told us he had a 50% increase in appointments set.
Awesome.
Just from us setting it up and then taking over the intake. 50%, and he was no longer working weekends and evenings.
Wow.
So that's just like you will get more jobs. You could literally sell one job and make up the investment that you had made in that system.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something I explain pretty often.
I bet.
You could sell one job and cover this. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
You said that builders don't need more tools. They just need better framework. Can you unpack that just a little bit more?
Yeah, so a lot of builders, especially if they're like design, like the owner is a designer at heart, and that's why they started their company.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of those right-brained people like see shiny objects and they're like, wow, I need this one. No, I need this one. No, I need this one. And then they never like end up implementing. So you don't need more tools. Like I said,
I know somebody like that.
I know, that's ringing a bell for us.
it's part of their genius, but also it slows them down on the system side.
We call her our shiny penny.
Yeah, I love that. So they get shiny object syndrome for sure because there are a lot of tools out there. So sometimes it's just as simple as like, what tools do you already have? What can you like kind of retrofit fit?
Right.
So I was saying about like a builder I just helped. It's just him. He doesn't need a builder trend. It's just him. He's working on one project at a time. So kind of said like, okay, you're already using Google Workspace. You're already paying for Google Workspace. Let's just create that foundation for you that you can duplicate every job and then go from there. He texted me like a week later and was like, I'm really understanding it. And like, I'm so excited for the growth and the potential. And I had talked to him the year before and it never went anywhere, like us working together. And he was so like overwhelmed when we first spoke. And then even a year later when we spoke, and then just, that was a VIP day. So we did that for him in a day. And he just like instantly saw like a results, with his like mental clutter, if anything.
Yes.
So
Yeah. It's a lot. We're bad about that ourselves. We do a lot of texting and we've tried tools to keep up with it.
I'm pretty sure we have an appointment with you soon where you're going to help us improve some of our processes, I think.
Yeah, there's definitely an opportunity for every business owner, not just construction. I just did this for myself because I was preparing for maternity leave. Where I kind of looked at everything like, why am I paying for Slack and ClickUp and Google Workspace and Zoom, which Google Workspace does Google Meet, so there's always opportunity for all businesses to kind of streamline things.
Absolutely.
Well, what do you think about moving on to some rapid fire questions?
Sure.
So we're going to just ask some quick questions and just kind of spout off the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay. I'm nervous.
Okay, for the first one, what is your favorite tool or app that actually does make your life easier?
Google Workspace. Yeah. So I don't know if they just had an update recently or if I just didn't know what I was paying for. But when I realized everything I could do in that to streamline my own business, like I got rid of Slack, I got rid of ClickUp, and I got rid of Zoom. I was just able to like get rid of all these unnecessary logins and things like that.
Slack is a great project management tool and one that we've used before. What in Google Workspace replaces that?
So I was using Slack for internal communication with my team. So channels for each client, you would, communicate back and forth.
We do this. We were doing the same thing.
Yep.
Right. So in Google Workspace, they have something called Spaces now.
Okay.
And same thing. It looks like a channel. You add people to it. You can add them. You can add tasks to it. And when you add a task to it and you assign a date and time, it goes on your Google Calendar.
Oh, that's amazing.
You can assign other people, so it goes onto their Google Calendar. It must be new. I'm not sure when they added it, but I was just poking around one day and saw it, and I was like, I don't need Slack anymore.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Love that.
Cool.
Yeah,
We'll have
definitely
to
check it out.
Yeah.
If you could snap your fingers and fix one thing about how most construction businesses operate, what would it be?
Not getting a signed change order and payment before doing the work. So having that documented somewhere.
Yeah. That can probably go for a lot of businesses.
They lose a lot of money like that. Just doing, the client brings it up. They say, yeah, we can do that.
Right.
It's for this amount. Okay. And then the client says, I never agreed to that after it's done. I see lots of companies just bleeding because of that one thing.
That's huge. What is a mindset that keeps you grounded?
Grounded in maternity leave?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a little...
What's that?
Yeah, I think as far as grounding goes is not, and this applies to me and it could apply to builders, not every client is the right client for us. That doesn't mean they're a bad client or we're a bad company.
Yeah.
It's just not a good fit for us. And that's okay. That doesn't hurt my self-esteem. It shouldn't hurt a builder's self-esteem if they don't win a bid. And just being able to even say I don't want to work with this client.
I think that's
super empowering.
That's a big lesson to learn, and it's hard. We do the same thing.
Yeah.
Knowing, because you want to help everybody,
Right.
but just
knowing when to say no because it's not the right fit.
Right.
Yep.
And yeah, you're exactly right. I love that.
Yeah, that's really big.
What does being limitless look like in your world right now?
Well, I'm holding a 3-week-old, just being able to, I don't have to be a mom or a business owner. I can be both. It just looks different in different seasons. But also just if a client comes to us asking for something that we don't offer, we'll go find somebody that can help us fulfill that for you, or a referral or something. It might seem like we have a limit, but we really don't. We can figure it out in one way or another.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about how people can find you if they are interested in using your services and what that looks like.
Yeah, so I'm big on Instagram. I accidentally ended up in that corner of the construction corner of Instagram, which is much bigger than I thought it was. Yeah. So I'm on Instagram a lot. I'm on Facebook as well, but my Instagram's definitely more poppin' than my Facebook. So I have a link to book, a call, just initial consultation to chat what you're looking for. You can also, just by looking at my Instagram, see what we kind of offer, the kind of culture we have and things like that. But you can book a call with that link. And then we also have VIP days if you're just I need a system right away. You can book that on the Instagram link too, like the link in bio. And then, if we do an initial consultation, it's a Zoom call. Like I said, I have 2 local clients, but most clients are across the U.S., so everything's done digitally. We'll have an initial call, kind of run through the packages. The package really that I think would fit, because when you book it, there's like a questionnaire that gives me some details about the company. So going into it, kind of already know what you need. We talk about that, talk about price, and then I send over a file with your proposal, contract, and first invoice. And if you're ready to move forward, you just sign that, and then we book a kickoff call.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Well, thanks for joining us today and taking a break from maternity leave. It was great having you here.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to be here, and I appreciate you being very flexible
Yes,
with the baby and everything. So
absolutely.
Want to grow your network and your business? Join Contractors Connect, the go-to networking group for professionals in the building industry. For just $400 a year, members get 4 complimentary meetup tickets per year, a featured spot in our online directory, visibility at every Contractors Connect event, and more. Whether you're a contractor, vendor, or service pro, there's a place for you here. Join today at contractors-connect.com/memberships, and let's build something great together.
All right. That was awesome. I love all the tips and tricks that we just learned from Ariel.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of practical things that people can use. And when you're not putting out fires all the time, you have more time to focus on your business and growing.
Yep, absolutely. So if you would like to learn more about Ariel and her business, give her a follow on social media at Limitless Lioness. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to tune into Trade Talk and follow us wherever you listen to your podcast.
Absolutely. It was a great episode. See you next Tuesday. Thanks for tuning into Trade Talk, powered by Contractors Connect, where construction pros connect, share, and grow.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like and subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your crew.
Until next time,
Stay sharp,
stay safe,
and keep building.